Right, first lock done.
Morning, Tony. We're on our way down to Shannon and just left lock 6 if you fancy a cuppa. It's active now anyway.
So as you can see, it's winter time, it's the middle of December. In fact, it's Christmas week, and we're here on the Shannon Waterway. Today it's I'm guessing about 3 or 4 degrees centigrade, and I'm not sure what it is in Fahrenheit, but I can tell you in Fahrenheit or in centigrade it's still bloody cold. There's no wind out, there's a bit of a fog, and that gives it kind of dampness, and that's the damp that penetrates through to you and can make you very cold very, very quickly. So what we are doing is we're moving the boat from Ballinamore on the Shannon Waterway to down to the River Shannon. Hopefully we'll get to Carrigan Shannon today. We left Ballinamore at about 10 to 9 in the morning. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. It's bitterly cold, but it's still beautiful. There's no rain, there's no wind. Of course, there's also no sunshine. You know what? It's still lovely, but I wouldn't like you to think that boating in December is a lot of fun. It's not. We slept on the boat last night, and yeah, it was cold. We haven't been down to the boat in a long time, and bedclothes felt damp, and yeah, didn't get a great night's sleep either, I have to tell you, and that's unusual for me. Normally when I get onto the boat I sleep like a little baby, but last night, no, I was awake a lot of the night, and kind of anxious as well. We hadn't taken the boat out for quite a while, so I'm kind of just, yeah, we haven't taken the boat out for quite a while, so I was worried that something would go wrong. One of the problems with taking it out at this time of year is that if you do break down, you're not going to meet another boat coming along with you. So I brought a full tool kit with me, any kind of spare I think we might possibly need. Checked everything over on the boat first, got into the bilge last night, and checked all the usual oil, fan belts, all these bits and pieces, and made sure the engines are cooling right, they're running at good temperature, still plenty oil pressure, everything looks good. But it's just the consequences if something goes wrong. There's no one to come along and give you a tow. You really have to get it sorted out yourself, and you could be stuck on board until you get it sorted out. But yeah, still in all, it is lovely, but it's not a holiday. The Shannon Waterway, if you're not familiar with it, it links the River Shannon to Lough Erne. There's a total of 16 locks on the Shannon Waterway, which contrasts greatly with the Shannon, which is about 6. We've to go through 11 locks today. We've 2 of them behind us. We've done 2, and we have 1 more lock in front of us that will be a raising lock. At that stage we'll be on the summit level, and happy days. From then on, we're just going down in locks. Going down in locks is always a lot easier than going up in them.
So now this lock brings us onto the summit level, and then from here on it's downward, homeward bound.
Happy days.
Happy days. Now let water out.
So there's quite a deep drop in this lock. It'll take a few minutes to empty it. And as Marion was saying, this is the first lock that we've actually had to stop and empty. All the other locks were empty with the bottom gates open as we arrived. But you know what, I was glad to get off the boat and stretch the legs a bit.
Well guys, it's bloody freezing and we're taking the boat from Ballinamore down to Carrick. It's actually the 20th of December. Most people are still running around doing the Christmas shopping and all that kind of stuff, but I think we're a bit more organised than that. We decided to go boating for 2 days.
See the ropes just loop around the bollard. This time of year, battery power is very important because there's nowhere to plug in for main supply, at least not once you go outside of a private marina. Waterways Ireland turn off the electricity in all the public harbours. So you have to be able to be completely off-grid to be able to survive on your battery power. Back in the spring, Euromotive in Carrick and Shannon supplied us with 3 Victron super cycle batteries. There are a total of 300 amps. So guys, these are Victron super cycle AGM domestic batteries. We're going to be testing these. Euromotive in Carrick and Shannon have given us these and told us to work them as hard as we possibly can and see how they stand up. They stopped short of using the word abuse, but we're going to take it a stage further. We're going to connect these up to our domestics, and using the inverter we're going to run hair dryers, we're going to run hoovers, we're going to run an ice making machine, we're going to run electric sanders, we're even going to run an angle grinder. But we're going to do one more step, lads. We're going to try and see, can we do all that without ever plugging in for the summer? And we've been using them all summer long. And when they supplied these, they gave us the instruction to carry on as though we were plugged into the main. So use the inverter along with the solar panels to
the hair dryer,
to run everything.
The ice maker.
Yeah. And we've done that. I mean, hair straighteners, everything. We've been using that, and what we generally found was that during the summer months, by about 11 o'clock in the morning, the solar panels had recharged the batteries, and that's the important thing. A lot of people will tell you that an inverter will kill your batteries, and it will kill your batteries if your system isn't balanced. And what I mean by that is that we have 300 amps that we can store it in our batteries, so that's our supply of electricity. If we use too much of that, we use too high a percentage of that, we'll cycle the batteries, or we'll reduce the energy in the batteries by too much, and that will damage the batteries. You've got to have a good knowledge of how much energy you're likely to use in a 24-hour period. Then you need to get a battery bank that's big enough that it can take that loss every 24 hours, but also that you've got a system that will charge it. And we have to say that we've I think it's 350 amps of solar at the moment, isn't it? Thereabouts. And that recharged everything for us during the summer months by 11 o'clock, maybe 12 o'clock on a bad day. And this wasn't really that great a summer.
Harry's down the front now with another camera, so if I do crash it, I'm in big trouble. Oh, that was okay.
So in our battery bank, we say we've 300 amps. If we had 400 amps, it would be better because we would reduce the batteries by a lower percentage every 24 hours, and that will extend the life of the battery. So the bigger the battery bank that you can afford, the better. Of course, these are super cycle batteries, so they are designed to be able to run down. We can run them down quite low, but we generally didn't bother. Now I know people are going to say, look, brand new batteries, still you can treat them like muck and they'll behave fine. These batteries are not new. We didn't get new batteries on this. These are used batteries, and that was the idea, was to put in batteries that had already been abused and see how well they would behave. And
we did abuse them now, because I mean, if anybody had seen us around the summer, very seldom, we were, I'd say maybe twice, 3 times, most people plugged in all over the summer. We were out for the summer.
We were, and we met a couple of guys in campers, remember, and they were using air fryers and they're running these off Honda generators, and we said, give us a go, and then give us a lend one of the hair dryers, and one of the air dryers, I should say. Air fryers. air fryers and hair dryers.
So we had
And,
chips in the middle of nowhere, like. You know.
Yeah. Well, we just ran an extension lead from the inside the boat, from the inverter out onto the jetty, and we cooked chips and burgers with an air fryer, and it all worked fine. So it's
Well, I mean, I just say now, the sausages were just beautiful out of it.
Oh yeah.
Weren't they? They were very same as grilled
But
sausages.
it's been the COVID purchase. Everybody that's been in lockdown has bought either a dog or an air fryer. We went for the air fryer, not the dog.
I said earlier on that we were in lockdown. We're actually not in lockdown, but the restrictions are hitting back in tonight. All the pubs are closing at 8 o'clock in restaurants. It won't affect us because we very seldom go to the pub.
Yeah, but I kind of feel the rating is on the wall as well.
Yeah. So all we say is if you're out there, stay safe.
Yeah.
You know?
But so those batteries have worked really well with us, and I know like people will say the batteries will work fine when they're in their first buds of youth, but these batteries are not. And I say they're Victron super cycle batteries, and they work really well.
Victron will give you a discount if you mention the driftwood boat plug for the solar panels.
Euromotive in Carrick and Shannon will.
Start again.
Yeah.
Euromotive in Carrick and Shannon will give discount if you say you saw them on the blog, and it's the same.
Just mention driftwood boat plug.
And it's the same with solar panels.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, like they've worked well. It works out like a kit. The solar panels, the inverter, and the batteries. The battery
and
bank.
the canopy then, that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and the canopy as well. But the three of those work well together because they supply us with our 12 volt, they supply us with 240 volt, and it's all run from the solar panels. So there's no moving parts. There's no fuel to be carried for it. There's no filters. There's no fan belts. There's no. It's completely silent, and you know, I mean, if you want to have off-grid that's protecting the environment, solar is the way to go. But don't make the mistake that I made, which was initially to buy cheap solar panels off the internet that did almost nothing, and it was a waste of money. Buy good quality solar panels, and I would recommend Victron. The other thing is, those eagle-eyed among you will notice that the canopy is not here anymore. Our canopy is gone, our brand new canopy. Reason for that is, well, it's December, and canopies will live a lot longer if you take them down in the winter and store them somewhere nice and warm and dry, and then put it back up in the spring. So the irony is, it's cold with woolly hats on us, and
the
canopy would be lovely.
Raining.
It's not raining.
You know, if it was raining, we'd be in big trouble.
I know. But much as we would love to have the canopy up now, we've made the decision to take it down, and we will look forward to that day in the spring when we put it back up again. Probably round about St. Patrick's Day. So this is the point on the river where the marking system changes from the urn system of the red and white crescents, and it changes to the international IALA system, which is green and red markers. That's not what you expect to see in the Irish Midlands. An old RNLI lifeboat. There's a total of 16 locks on the Shannon Waterway, and this might put a few people off, but there's no real need. A quick phone call to Waterways Ireland will ensure that one of the patrollers will come along and give you a hand going through the locks. Marion spoke to Tony this morning, and we were lucky to have Tony all the way from Kilclare all the way down to Leitrim village. Oh, yeah.
Well, we're 5 hours since we left. 5 Ballinamore. I'm like the Michelin man. I have a big jacket on. I have a life jacket on.
Layers and layers
It is
clothing.
Baltic. I'm so cold. I don't think I've ever been this cold.
There's no doubt it's not Bambi warm. That's for
It's
sure.
not boating weather, really and truly.
So we're just off the Shannon and Waterway now. We're onto the River Shannon, the very northern tip of the Shannon. So we're about to give it a bit of throttle, and there's a puff of smoke out the back, and just to clear the injectors out a bit, because going along the canal you have to go very, very slow because you don't want to be causing a big wash, and the engine gets a bit smoky. So it's nice to get down to the river again afterwards, be able to give a bit of throttle.
Yeah. Oh, but it's so cold.
Yeah. So we're about 1 hour from Carrick and Shannon now.
And that's then put away for another couple of weeks.
Yep.
Well, as I said earlier on, it's the 20th of December. Like, is it the 20th?
No, is it the 20th? It is the 20th, you're right, yeah. Yeah.
20th,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tomorrow is the winter solstice.
Yeah.
The shortest day of the year. And then from Christmas onwards, days start getting a little bit longer. Oh God. Right. It's very seldom that I would wear gloves at all. But,
I am so cold.
well,
No.
it's not raining. I mean, that's all good.
And people would say, why don't you sit inside? Because if
Yeah, I mean, we could steer from indoors.
Yeah, but if I sit inside, then somebody would be giving out and said, I'm frozen out here on my own.
Oh no, yeah, but we could be steering from inside, but we just never do. I don't know. I just like being out
To whinge and...
to whinge. Well, it's just you see so much more when you're outside. And
Yeah.
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 Whoa, yeah. So that's our little winter boating vlog, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we will see you in 2022. And if you're watching this before Christmas,
We wish you a very, very happy Christmas.
yes, we wish you all a very, very happy Christmas, and thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for putting in comments. Thanks for giving it thumbs ups. Thanks for all those things, guys.
Thanks, Mill.
Take care, guys.
Cheerio.